Hi guys, Dr. Dan Nightingale here, your clinical dementia specialist. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are in the world. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know which way around it is, but here it's getting on late in the day. I've just finished a very busy day of telemedicines and office visits, so it's been quite busy for me today. I've had a good time, I've enjoyed myself, I've helped a lot of people. What I want to talk about in this video, I'm here flying solo today, so Lynn, my wife and all-round handler, isn't with me right now, so I am doing this on my own, and hopefully we'll be able to do it okay. And I know she'll say you look scruffy, so make yourself tidy. So I'll tidy myself up a little bit, and then we'll be all right. I want to talk a little bit about APOE4. The apolipoprotein LL. It's a gene that some people carry. It's a gene that contributes to the risk of Alzheimer's disease, and it's something that worries and concerns many people. What I don't want people to do is go out there and get themselves a blood test to see whether or not they have the APOE4 gene, because that can be detrimental. It can be very damaging. Only if we have a necessity, only if we think that there's a real need to know that, and that is usually during a battery of tests to evaluate and assess whether or not somebody has a cognitive impairment, a cognitive change. So that isn't what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the risk is obviously increased for people, and I want you to realize that there is still things you can do, even if you are diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and it is discovered that you do have the APOE4 gene. How this works is that when we're born, mum gives us one of these genes and dad gives us one of these genes, and there are different variants. And if they happen to give APOE4 and APOE2, then there's a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. If both of them give APOE4, so we have 4 and 4, there's an even greater risk. But what I want to focus on is when people have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and they do identify as a carrier or as having that gene, because that has contributed to their Alzheimer's disease. There are still things you can do. You can still live well with Alzheimer's disease like you can live well with any form of dementia. And that is just one of the risks that increases the possibility of developing Alzheimer's disease. One of the things I want people to think about is diet and nutrition and how that impacts negatively on having any kind of dementia. Okay, when it comes to people with APOE4, gluten, which is in so many foods today, gluten is something that people with APOE4 are very sensitive to, and it can make things worse. So the message for today is, if you do have the APOE4 gene, then make sure you cut out gluten from your diet. And within a very short space of time, you will see a huge difference. And there are other things, of course, you need to do with that, which is the brain health exercises. Make sure your anxiety levels are managed, preferably through non-pharmacological approaches and interventions, and just ensure that you do, your brain health, your anxiety management, and also relaxation. And if you're stressed or if you're feeling agitated, angry, frustrated, write it down, journal it, write down your thoughts, write down the things that it's making you feel, your emotions. Write down the negative thoughts and images that it's creating. And finally, work out how you can change that negative thought into a positive thought, because that is so important that we do that we focus on the positives. Okay, that said, that's about the APOE4 gene. Just remember, don't go rushing out and asking the doctor to do your blood to see if you're an APOE4 carrier, because that's not very helpful and it's not very ethical. So I do not encourage people to do that. Let it happen if it needs to happen when you're undergoing any kind of battery of tests to determine whether there's a cognitive change or not. Okay, that's really all I wanted to jump in and talk about on this video for today. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe. If you don't already subscribe to this channel, do so. Share it with family, share it with friends, share it with, everybody within your circle, because it is really important that everybody understands dementia and gets the right education and the right knowledge. Don't rely on Dr. Google all the time, because while it can be helpful, it can also be harmful. So make sure you go to the right people with the right questions for the right information. Speak to your primary physician, speak to your neurologist, speak to your dementia specialist, whoever it is that's working with you. Speak with them and ask any questions you may have. And I'm always here, guys. I'm always here. So have a good, for me and people in Arizona, have a good evening. For people who may be in the UK, I'm sure you're just about to get up in the morning for work or something. So anyway, wherever you are in the world, have a blessed, blessed day, a blessed evening, and a blessed week. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.